right, welcome to Life Extension Live. Woohoo! We haven't been in the set for a while.
I know.
It's great to be back. Thanks for joining us today. A fabulous show today. Very interesting. I love this topic. It's called neurohacking. Woohoo! I'm Dr. Mike, your host, and this is my co-host, Dr. Crystal. And obviously, there's somebody here. He just walked off the street. We're not even sure who he is. I'm kidding. This is Dr. Stephen Tapanes. He is a doctor of neuroscience from the University of Miami, 2021. He's investigated all kinds of things like brain injury, and he's an expert in this idea of neurohacking. Now, let's just real quickly talk about something, right? Mm-hmm. I take a product for just overall brain health. That's not what we're talking about really today, right? We're talking about a new idea.
Yeah.
It's been around for a while, but it's becoming a little bit more mainstream, and this is neurohacking. Dr. Stephen, tell us what exactly is neurohacking, and why are we so interested in it?
So neurohacking is essentially the attempt, and usually otherwise healthy individuals, to try to enhance and optimize their brain performance. So we think about, people even just in the morning, where the first thing some people want is their morning coffee, right? Mm-hmm. You kind of want to get going, get your day started.
Yeah. We need it.
Exactly, right?
Yes. You're doing good so far.
There are some key domains that neurohackers, which is now this term that we've taken on, that they try to improve. So for example, we want to reduce the amount of mental fatigue that we have, throughout the day as we start to hit that 2 p.m. feeling at work. We don't want to get rid of that. We also want to improve attention, memory, and stress resilience. So just kind of these 4 domains that they come together to help us enhance our brain, sort of hack our brain, and keep that function going throughout the day.
But just to confirm, because a lot of people already take like a brain supplement, right? So so they could continue with their normal brain supplement.
Correct.
This is stuff that's about that everyday performance, right?
Yes.
That's kind of what we're dealing with.
Exactly.
Okay, gotcha.
Good. So we're not talking about a chip in the brain,
No,
right?
not at all. Not at all.
When you say neurohacking, that sounds a little scary.
Not yet.
And
Not yet.
maybe we'll get there
maybe
one day,
in the future.
you think?
Maybe. Hopefully not, but we'll see.
Now, so Dr. Mike mentioned most times the focus when you think about brain health is preventing age-related cognitive decline.
That's what I'm trying to do.
Did you learn about neurohacking during your coursework? And I'm curious with you, Dr. Mike, did you learn about this in med school?
I'll tell you now, no.
What did they teach you about hacking the brain?
Nothing, guys. And Dr. Stephen, your experience could be different, but in medical school, it's all about disease and how to treat. I mean, people come to us because they have a brain issue.
Right.
It's not like, oh, I gotta have more brain energy by 2.
Right. They come to you when there's a problem. I can't, find my keys every day
because I can't see anymore.
Which we can hack the brain to fix that.
Uh-oh. Taking on my business. Dr. Stephen, what did you learn about all this?
So, in my experience as a student, what we pretty much learn is how the brain works, and then, like you said, these diseases and things that are being done to treat them. But this idea of neurohacking, I think it's still kind of new. It's something that on the side I've discussed with people, kind of just thinking we have these different approaches. What can we do to help, again, improve our brain performance? But traditionally, I don't think it's really appreciated as much in general coursework and, like academia, for example. So this is, I think, something that's great because it's really this new field that we're starting to discover. We're starting to see the benefit that we have, again, not just in cases of cognitive decline or aging or disease. We have young people, healthy people that are doing these strategies, and it's helping them with their brain performance.
Yeah. Let me ask you, I'm going to try to give an example because maybe this will help some people.
Yes, maybe.
And then I know you want to get into like how this is all really working.
Yes.
So maybe this has been going on longer than we think. As an example, in medical school, after studying all night and sometimes for 2 nights, like just ongoing, you get to that exam, and we would take caffeine pills to just give us that boost in that 2-hour exam period. Is that kind of neurohacking just for that moment?
So in a way, yes, but the thing about these caffeine pills, for example, is they're not really a sustainable approach. You know, so the idea with neurohacking is taking these daily approaches to get that same benefit.
Yeah.
You know, we kind of take these caffeine pills, we get jittery, our heart might kind of speed up and have these weird feelings, and then we crash after the fact.
Yes.
All three,
I think,
right?
I think I actually fell asleep during an exam.
Right?
Oh, no, well, it's the all-nighter. So you're on the caffeine all night.
It's okay, I pass.
Well, thank goodness. But it's the caffeine all night, right? And then the next day, I think for me, what I found is during my exam, I'm so jittery. My brain, it's almost like it's scrambled.
It's too much. It's too much.
It's scrambled, and it's not working.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So how does it really? So what are we like? You want to right? That's
Yes.
like what is really going on?
Right.
When
What
we
are
talk
we
about
doing?
neurohacking.
Because, and I'll tell you this, I was always taught. Now, of course, neuroscience is not my area of specialty, but I was always taught with brain cells and neurons, and once they're kind of gone, once those connections are lost, you can't really reconnect. You can't really grow more neurons. So are we doing that? Are we what is exactly what's happening in the brain?
So pretty much what we're trying to do in the case of this neurohacking, there's two approaches that we kind of think about. One is synaptic plasticity. So that's essentially like muscle memory, right? The more you do something, the easier it gets. And in this case, we're doing it in terms of things like reaction speed, attention, memory. And then there's another domain called cognitive reserve. So the way that we can think about this is, my analogy is, let's say that you take a highway to work, right? You have this path you take. But when there's a traffic jam, you want sort of another approach to get to the same area in a similar time.
Okay.
So our brain is trying to use different pathways that we can then reach the same goal.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives us that, again, that reserve or that resilience in the brain. And we're taking
Wow.
those two approaches to try to enhance this function, optimize our performance, and then again in a sustainable fashion where we're not taking these caffeine pills after being
a little
up for
more
2
healthy
days.
approach.
Wow.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, that will help us with our shows.
Yes, everything could help. Yes.
Think
But-
about it. When Dr. Mike throws me off, and those of you who are watching, thank you so much. Barbara
your mom is
That's my mom.
on.
She has a watch party.
Woo-hoo.
Best mom
A
ever.
watch party.
When Dr. Mike throws me off during
I
the
love her
show,
picture.
and it's the path that I think we're going down, and then Dr. Mike veers off in a different direction.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the cognitive reserve needs
Yeah.
to kick in to
Yeah.
help me out.
Yeah, and I do that on purpose. I really,
It's a test,
there's really
yeah.
no need for me to do that, but I do it because it's fun. Hey, so again, we talked about neurohacking and all that on a podcast once, right?
We did, yeah. It was biohacking, and this is kind
This
of
is now just more for the brain.
more
Yeah, we did
specific.
this whole thing on like body biohacking and stuff like that, and we were really interested that there are true outcomes when you look at the research that they're measuring. It's not just subjective. Oh, I feel better in this moment. That must be something good. There's real measurements of memory and attention. What kind of things are you looking at really when you to judge a bio or a neurohack? Is it good or not? What outcomes are you looking at?
So there's some different outcomes we can look at. You know, we can think of reaction speed. So some tests, it might be a computer, and someone might have to click a certain image or discern a certain image, you know, and we can determine their reaction speed. We might do things like attention and memory, so maybe remember a list of items or phone numbers. You go and you do something else for a couple minutes, and then when you come back, we ask you, did you remember? And then there's also another test, which maybe some viewers have done themselves, where you are given the word of a color. So, for example, the word says blue,
I've done that,
but
yeah.
it's printed in red
It's
ink.
hard.
Yeah, so then we make you read the word, so you have to say blue, green, yellow, but then when you come back and do the test again, we ask you to say the color of the word, not necessarily the word itself.
Yeah. So you
And
could have
it's
red,
very
but it's
difficult.
blue, and you're
Right,
and you're so stuck
exactly.
on
and that
That's
actually
hard.
becomes more difficult than you would think.
Yeah.
And so we can kind of do these tests to then determine, have there been improvements in people who have taken, you know, different nutrients, maybe a dietary strategy versus kind of just a placebo or a control group.
Right. So I can see, obviously, I'm just trying to relate this back to everyday people and people who kind of want that enhancement. So I'm thinking students
For sure.
helping with tests, gamers.
Big
right,
one,
the
right?
right,
Because they're doing lots of caffeine and sugar and stuff. Not
Right.
good. Setting up bad habits.
and then athletes with the reaction time. Like I'm wondering, am I hitting kind of the
Office
population?
workers.
Yes, yeah, exactly.
Drivers.
That's what
Yes, I mean,
think
there's a whole host.
Exactly. I would think even drivers, right? You know,
Yeah.
the better reaction time you have, maybe it's that split second before someone takes a red light and you can hit the brakes and, avoid an accident. Or even just in a day-to-day scenario. Let's say you forget your shopping list at home. Who wants to go back to the store again? We can try to remember everything that we need before you go home and then realize you forget, the eggs or something.
Moms. I mean,
Yes.
career, kids, all this kind of stuff. Humans tend to think we're good at multitasking. We're not. We're not good at that kind of stuff. We're good maybe at one and we kind of neglect the others,
Yeah.
but we barely do it and we check it off our list. Maybe just if you've been asked to multitask at work.
Yeah.
This might be something good.
So, as a nutritionist, and I know that the focus is nutritional neurohacking, this gets me really excited.
Yeah.
And during my coursework, just like you, we talk about general things that can help the brain. Blueberries, for one, we know and love blueberries as being brain food. Eggs, lutein, and I actually saw a chart yesterday showing, berries, polyphenols, carotenoids. Yeah, there's that lutein. This is one of the infographics that's in a protocol that Life Extension put together on nutritional neurohacking.
Yeah.
But going back to the lutein, and then of course I would love to get your feedback on what you're seeing in the research. Am I coming close to those nutritional components? But everyone thinks about eggs with lutein, but the green leafy vegetables, kale seems to be one of the highest sources, spinach and broccoli.
Sounds good.
So those are some of my top brain foods. Am I on the right track?
Yeah, absolutely. I think these healthy foods that are high in vitamins, high in minerals, things that, our brain is very demanding, right? It's using so much energy, just even when we're not thinking about it, that it's constantly doing stuff, even things that we're not aware it's doing. And so all of these different nutrients that can help support the brain, support brain cells, these are really some of the cornerstones of, I would say, the foundation of this nutritional neurohacking. And then we also have not just necessarily leafy greens, but kind of, as we saw, nuts are a big one. Fatty
Can we
fish,
put that
lean fatty fish,
infographic back
such
up,
as
guys?
salmon.
Yeah. Here we go.
So people familiar with the Mediterranean diet, that's I think a
Right.
great example. All these different healthy foods that we can do to round out our diet, but also help support the brain.
Now, as a life extension scientist, right? Did you played a role in putting together this infographic?
Yes,
right?
yes. I, along with the protocol, which we combed through a ton of research, spent a bunch of time putting it together, trying to find high quality research that shows effects and helps.
Water.
Yeah, exactly. Some things that you might not even think about.
And it's interesting that as you guys are talking about the food, I'm looking at the comments, and the comments, it's funny, they go directly to the nutrient side of it, like the supplement side of it. And Dr. Crystal, I know you would say, even to your mom, look what she's saying, you would say, Mom, hold on, food first.
Water
Food
first.
Water even first.
Just water.
Water is firster.
More first.
Yeah, so that's great. So,
Right.
so her list you agree with, and it's pretty good, right?
I do agree. And I think as we get into nutrients,
High five.
and again, for example, water. Water's so simple. We obviously all drink it every day, but in such a fast-moving world, I think that it's easy for people to almost forget to drink water. There's
Very
times
true.
that, at least myself, I've gone home and I thought, man, I had maybe one glass of water all day, and I realized
Very
just how
true.
thirsty I am.
Yeah.
And such a simple approach and simple change can really be, huge for the brain.
Yeah. What about, so some of the nutrients that were shown there, lion's mane was
Yeah.
one.
Ginkgo biloba.
Ginkgo,
Yes, yes.
it's magnesium threonate
Yep.
Oh,
was
yes.
shown on their fish. Would you agree that those all could play a role in neurohacking?
Yeah, absolutely. I think going back to blueberries, blueberry extract has been shown to have nice cognitive benefits for people. We have things such as fish oil. Again, I think we mentioned ginkgo biloba
Yeah,
and
that's
gotu
another
kola as well as another one. So these all together kind of help support the function that we have to help enhance our cognitive abilities. And in some cases, these studies have been done where they've looked at the outcomes over weeks or maybe months. But again, going back to coffee, there's, a desire for, I want something short term. I want it now.
People
Need
do
it
like
to
that.
work fast.
They want that. They do.
And there are also some nutrients that have been shown to act, within a few hours, some cases in as fast as 1 hour. So
Wow.
sage extract is
Okay.
one of them, peppermint oil, even surprisingly curcumin, which people are pretty familiar with.
Turmeric extract.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
And
very
curcumin is, not just at that point supporting the brain, but
But
whole
even,
body health.
okay, even if those are a little quicker, right? The key message is these should be part of your daily.
Exactly.
The food, a supplement or two. So if you're a student, you don't just do this for 1 or 2 nights as you're studying, right?
Right.
It needs to be all semester, let's say, or something like that. So these are daily supplements, right? That you would want
Right,
to take.
and I think that's the beauty of this approach because we have things that we can take daily for both short and long-term benefits, as opposed to you're not taking a caffeine pill every day. I mean,
I hope
you
not.
might,
No.
but I hope not.
No.
That becomes
That hurt my heart.
Yeah, it's unsafe, and so
Yeah.
we have these natural approaches that we can then combine for sustainable, benefit as opposed to sleep deprivation, and then you offset it with a caffeine pill, and that's just
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now
and then
you,
you're just up and down
Yeah,
in a
it's just
bad
not-
cycle. Yeah.
you made me think about something when you mentioned sleep deprivation, things that we shouldn't do, right, Dr.
Oh,
Mike?
good. Yeah, I like that. Let's what shouldn't we?
Right.
so. I mean, from a dietary perspective, we do have
We
like
got excited about
Yes, we
that.
did.
obviously.
We did. Let you notice we get excited about things.
I think there's dietary things that we can avoid, and then there's also lifestyle changes, right? So when we think about diet, for example, it's unfortunate, but a lot of people do eat what's called a Western style diet, so it's
Okay.
high in fat, high in sugar, and
The sad
even,
diet.
Yeah, exactly. Even
But the
think
bad
about
fats.
the bad fats, yeah. So like
Yeah,
the
trans.
saturated fats and all these things, and so
Right.
we think about, let's say you eat a bunch of sugar. It's a sugar crash. We get
Yeah.
the sugar high, but then we crash. We feel bad, and we're kind of trying to recover from that.
Mm-hmm.
Another dietary component is something called advanced glycation end products. So these are essentially things that are formed when we do cooking with frying or grilling. So this high heat cooking.
Yes.
And I mean, don't get
No,
me wrong.
hold
I
on
love
now.
fried
Slow
foods.
down.
I
Slow
know.
down.
This is where we have to
I
bring
know.
out
Hold
the
on
sad
now.
music.
Yep,
Now,
Cue
hold
the
on.
sad music.
I don't
Don't-
mean
I'm
to
from
be a party
Texas,
pooper.
Steve, Dr. Steve. I like my grilled meats.
Me too. I don't mean to be a party pooper, but there are these things where, maybe we can try to cut them out a little bit,
Yes.
eat them in more moderation,
Yeah.
and then again switch to maybe that more Mediterranean style diet. These fresh
Mm-hmm.
fruits and vegetables, a cleaner source of protein,
Mm-hmm.
and these are generally the dietary strategies that we can use to approach it. And then lifestyle strategies. So
Yeah.
again, we talk about sleep deprivation.
Mm-hmm.
I fall into that. I would say maybe more often than I should.
Well,
I
you
stay
have
up
a new
late.
baby.
Yes, I do.
Everyone
Yes.
watching.
Yeah.
He's I think he's the cutest baby out there, but I'm a little bit biased.
That's
but I'm
fine.
sure if you saw him,
That's
you might
fine.
agree.
Yeah.
But so we have these things such as, just go to bed early, try to get a nice sleep schedule.
Consistent, right?
Not-
Consistent sleep
exactly,
schedule.
and not even just within studies, but I'm sure that personally everybody here has had a day where they didn't sleep well, and you wake up, you just don't feel well.
Yeah.
That's
Your
so
brain
true.
just feels slow. You're just thinking about, I want to go lay down, I want to take a nap.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, water. It's sort of a dietary approach, but I think it's just a lifestyle approach of,
Mm-hmm.
hey, maybe I shouldn't have a soda with lunch. Let me just have a water.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then this helps us reach that goal of getting this water intake. And another big thing I think of, especially again, this fast-moving world, is managing your stress. It's very
Oh.
difficult to fall into this rabbit hole of just stress.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, again, you think about it. Whenever you're stressed, you're just frazzled. You're not thinking straight.
Mm-hmm.
It's just you feel on edge maybe. And so finding different approaches to help manage stress, whether it's maybe meditation or yoga, just anything that you think works for you,
Yeah.
is good to help reduce that stress
Great
and
point.
keep your brain, functioning well.
And when you're stressed, you tend to make bad decisions.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I mean, not just socially, but diet.
with
by
diet.
yeah,
Yeah. So
you
you might-
make decisions that are just not helping at all. And so, so many people not sleeping, stressed out, eating sugar, lots of caffeine, and we wonder why we're so mentally fatigued
Yeah.
by 2 p.m. Right? I mean,
Yep.
dude, it's not that much of a stretch to realize we do a lot of this to ourselves.
That's very
And then
true.
add aging, just normal aging into that,
Right.
and things become a problem.
So I just want to go back to that list of nutrients just
Okay.
to make sure I have it.
Just run it
I
down.
have it, run
She
it
tries
down.
everything.
What do I need to
where's your
add?
mom? Where's your mom?
My mom, she's somewhere probably working on her list as well.
Here's some people writing. Who
Right,
is this?
that's
Hold
what
on,
made
go
me
down a
think
little bit,
about
guys.
it in the chat.
Tracy, GABA, ginkgo,
ALA,
magnesium, green tea. Yeah, a lot of good stuff.
Yeah.
So these are things, again, like especially with magnesium, ginkgo, these ingredients that have been shown in studies with humans, these clinical studies, to help enhance cognition, not just support it or,
Yeah.
it does make them have better reaction
like that
time,
word.
better speed.
Enhance.
Enhance.
I like
That's
it.
what we want to do.
Yeah, I've been supporting too long. I need to enhance.
I need a super brain.
Exactly.
I had to keep up with Dr. Mike.
I'm gonna, Dr. Steve, I'm gonna put you on the spot. And
Oh, boy.
it's a live show. There's a live audience watching right there.
Okay.
Top 3 nutrients.
Yeah.
Sage extract, which I had mentioned, I think is great.
Sage. And that one you mentioned worked pretty
That one, yes,
quickly?
there's studies that have seen as soon as 1 hour, 3 hours that there's
Okay.
benefits in the different tests of processing speed, attention. I think magnesium is a good long term as well. For example, we discussed magnesium
the 3-in-8 form would
which
be
it's shown to get into the brain.
Yeah.
It increases brain levels, and that really helps. And I think ashwagandha as well is a good
Oh,
one
we
for
talked about that
helping
one, yeah.
with that stress aspect of giving your brain that little pep to help against the day-to-day stress that we deal with.
Excellent, awesome. Audience, since you're watching this, you might want to write this down. We're going to send you to the protocol.
Yes.
Right? The protocol, Nutritional Neurohacking, correct? That's the
It's-
title.
That's the title.
Yes.
Dr. Stephen, you were involved in putting this
Yep.
together. All that rigorous science behind it. It goes into much more detail. I think you. Oh yeah, there is the web address lifeextension.com/neurohacking. Go check that out, and it's just amazing. Have your pen and paper ready.
I know.
You're going to want to
Take
take
notes
notes.
or print
I should say, note taking is a little old fashioned.
That's okay. I still like note
I
taking.
still do.
Me as well. Yeah.
Print it, or better yet, save the trees and
You can mark on web pages now.
send it to your friends.
Yeah, share it. And then while you're there, check out the other 139. How many protocols are up there? Do you know?
I think it's around
140 or something like that.
Wow.
So lifeextension.com/neurohacking. Dr. Stephen, thanks so much for joining
Thank you
us
for
today.
having me. It was a great time.
Dr. Chris, are you going to try those 3, right?
Oh yeah, I've got it.
You got it?
Sage, magnesium 3-in-8, ashwagandha.
She's going to do. You're probably already doing all those.
I'm doing
Not the sage.
the magnesium.
Okay, you're
but,
doing that.
Yeah.
All right, let us know what you might want to take or what you've been taking. Thanks for all the comments. Don't forget, we go live every Wednesday at noon Eastern Time. We love that you join us. Hey, since you're watching, like it. Give us
Share.
more comments. Let us know other topics you'd like for us to talk about. And share these shows so more and more people can learn about awesome topics, including neurohacking.
That's right.
Thanks for watching. I'm Dr. Mike. Take care.